Hi, I'm Luke Sherveld. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Hey, I've got Cliff Henry. I've got Mark Core sitting in. We were just doing a very simple, setup with two folks, but 4 cameras. So we've got a slider, wide, 2-shot from the center, and then 2 offset singles, and another 2-shot from the side as well. And we had all, wonderful outside. The sun's actually getting a little more cloudy now, but while we were shooting, there was definitely some hot spots out there. We didn't treat the windows at all. We just have 2 1200Ds as sort of side keys, and because of a large pillar here, we brought one around, so that's hitting Mark, and then we've got another one that's more flat onto Cliff here, but our 2 single cameras were pretty not as far around as you'd have in sort of a typical 60-minute style. Anyway, we have these 2 sort of side keys because the ceiling's just too low. We couldn't put them sort of far side key over here. And then we have a front fill, which is a 1200C, and that's a Nanlux 1200C. And then we have a 720B Nanlite into skinny aperture softbox, and that's hiding behind the column, coming around and giving these guys a bit of a backlight. So that's what we got going. We did have a bunch of reflections that we had to deal with, but for the most part we shot around them and got through our interview. Today we've got reflections again. So if you look behind me, it's a window. This isn't any normal window though. This is a window that has 4 stops of some kind of neutral density. It takes about a half an hour for a step to click in, but we first did it 2 stops, so just half the brightness. And then we were like, you know what, let's go all the way. And so we went with 4 stops of whatever it is. It's not, our sort of version of ND, but it's a version and it totally works. So out there is a really bright day, full-on sun, and but because we've got these electronic ND filters, here we are. Needless to say, we still have to pump in a fair amount of light. So we have magic cloth for our key. It's an 8x, and then we have 2 evokes into that. But the evokes are at like 50%. So it's a daylight evoke 1200B and a regular daylight evoke 1200, and they're coming through. And I just have the wide intensifiers on them. And because we had one with a Fresnel, and that just wasn't quite giving us enough. Anyway, we started at 100%. Then we went to 4 here. We brought these down, so now we don't have quite as much coming out of that key. But and then we have a 1200D, so aperture 1200D. Lightstorm hitting into just a single 4x flop ultra bounce as our fill. And the person's going to be looking straight to camera. There's also an offset camera on a Dana dolly, but this is our simple setup. However, in order for us not to see any of our light sources, we turned off the lights and we added a lot of solids. We're having to just get rid of all those little reflective surfaces. So here now you can see if Cody comes right a little bit. So he's coming camera right. Now you can start seeing some of the reflections in the back. We do have a 600X as a backlight into a small Nanlite dome, but that wasn't a reflective problem. Our problem is the 8x key and the 42x ultra bounce. So we brought in WAG flags, we brought in 8x solids and floppies, and then there were reflective surfaces that weren't lights at all, but they were seeing some little hits of light, any kind of metallic. It was all showing up in our window. And of course, we have the slider bringing up even more angles. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. It's a lot of black. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. What's that?
Hats, glasses.
No, you're good.
We're speeding.
Okay, you're good? And you got the red square around your image. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so you guys are looking at each other.
All right.
Hi, I'm Luke Searveld. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. I've got Cliff and I've got...
You got Mark Core.
Okay, all right, here we go.
What are you doing, dude? I'm not on this.
What?
I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah, you can.
No,
You're not
no.
going to say anything. You don't have to say anything. You just sit in it.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.